day a year ago, I had to take my car to the mechanic's garage. And for some reason, I felt I should walk home. It was about 8 miles from there. And, after getting yelled at for walking in summer in the Hamptons, I saw my house on the other side of a totally empty horse farm. And I figured it wouldn't be so horrible if I just crossed this horse farm. We always used to be able to walk around. So right when I'm in the middle of this giant horse farm, this totally angry rich guy comes out. And he starts, chewing me out. And he's saying, I do have fences. And I said, yeah, I'm sorry. I just, I live over there. And, it would be 5 more miles to walk around. It really would be dangerous. And I said to him, can I go home? Can I go home?
I'm already halfway there, right?
Well, I'm right there. I'm his neighbor. I'm his neighbor.
This is directly next door or down a few places.
I think my house borders their caretaker. I'm pretty sure their caretakers are my neighbors. So I'm I'm next to his house. I'm next to his house or his caretaker.
Right.
Right. I'm next to his house, yeah.
So you were almost home.
Yes, I had, yes, my house is right in front of me.
Right. I mean, you had walked 7.5 of the 8 miles at least.
And it would have been truly 5 more miles to not cross through the horse farm.
Right. I understand. Okay, go ahead.
I still have 5 more miles to not cross this guy's horse farm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that out.
That wasn't going to happen. I was going to have to find a way to get home.
Right.
Even if I pissed off a rich guy,
Right.
I was going to have to risk it. Anyway, so I said, can I please go? And he thinks about it. And he says, okay, don't do it again, And I'm walking away, and I'm like, that was Matt Lauer. So I put it on my Facebook, which is where I was, doing my Hero's Journey blog. And as soon as someone saw it on my Facebook, my neighbor came up to me and she asked me if they weren't letting me cross because Matt Lauer's people promised that we could still cross because that's the only way we can go to that road.
Right.
So my neighbor complained and said, that's not what they said. So then I started to complain about Matt Lauer and how, none of us can ever walk to that street again, ever. Because Matt Lauer has a summer house that he comes to, sometimes. And the attitude was stop complaining about him. He's rich. He might kill you, And I was like, you know what? Just because of that reaction, I need to talk about this. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a privileged person, and people said you need to treat a privileged person differently than a regular person.
It was more about that. And people were like, could you stop talking about Matt Lauer? It's making us all very uncomfortable. And I'm like, no, it's you. It's your reaction. It's because you act like this, I'm doing this.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Right, because it's you. I'm talking about you guys. And I would say it. I'd say, Matt Lauer acts like that because we let him. Get that through your heads. Why do we let him? That's his weekend house. You know what I mean? He doesn't even live there. And none of us in our whole community, we could never go to that street again. And Matt Lauer said he wouldn't do that, but of course he did, because he's Matt Lauer. Because who would ever question Matt Lauer about anything?
So this got all blown up on Facebook with you saying, why is he so special? And people pushing back on you going, well, because he is special, because he's rich, and rich people are automatically special, and you need to treat him differently than a regular person. That was the gist of the conversations, right?
100%.
And then what happened?
Well, he got fired, right?
Yeah, and what do you think led to that? I don't think we have any absolute proof, but
No, we don't.
because you broke the veil.
No connection can be formally made at this time.
Because you broke the veil on Matt Lauer's perfectness and his kingly state in this world.
Exactly.
Maybe people start scratching their heads a little bit like, you know what, this woman is probably doing the right thing by standing up to him a little bit. All she wanted to do was cross his horse pasture after walking 7.5 miles, and she was a neighbor, and he just trashed her for crossing her pasture, and so maybe
across his 10-acre horse farm.
So maybe some other people started thinking, you know what? Not only is Matt Lauer not a real special guy, but he's actually a lowlife, and that's when all of these stories started coming out. Right? Am I right?
Yes. No, sometimes the truth is very funny.
Yes, it is. And now Matt Lauer doesn't have a job because, I believe this. I believe that you caused other people to think, you know what? This woman's right. He's not some godlike figure.
No.
And we need to be able to comfortably tell the truth without being afraid of somebody suing us or, intimidating us in any way. We need to be able to
exactly.
speak the
so we
truth.
have all these wonderful rights, but we're intimidated out of using them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter, this is why I asked the Tanster to tell this story, was because of, and let me take this all the way back to Star Wars and Napoleon. I'm going to wrap this whole thing together with one little bow. I'm going to wrap together the Matt Lauer story and Star Wars and Napoleon. And here's my take. Here's my take on this whole thing is, if more people were like Tanster, and quite frankly like me and you, Peter, and spoke up about what's happening and spoke up about the truth, then the world would change for the better. And both Star Wars and Napoleon, the main characters were the heroes, there's no doubt. But both of those groups had to have an army. They couldn't do it by themselves. Napoleon could not have accomplished anything close to what he accomplished by himself. He needed an army behind him. And so did the main characters in Star Wars. They had a whole army of people supporting them to fight evil and to push forward good.
Right.
And all of that group on Facebook against Matt Lauer caused those other women to say, you know what, I need to speak up too. And that was really one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on the show, Tanster, was to illustrate that point, that if people would just speak up rather than saying, oh, I don't want to do that, I'm not a hero, I have to stay in the background, I can't say anything, I'm too scared, I'm too afraid of being sued, I'm too afraid of whatever. I don't know what they're afraid of, quite honestly, because I'm not. But we just need more people to speak up, and that's my message on this radio show today, Peter. Is if we had more people speak up about MLM scams, about Nexium, about this cult that Tanster was in, just et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, we could take back this world to a very large extent away from the evil direction that all of these things represent.